you. Let me now bring in, just to keep unpacking this conversation, I've got retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Bernie Flowers. Colonel, good morning to you. You know, most of us who aren't military think of military training as what we see in the movies. A few good men, full metal jacket, you know, everybody running in sweats together, razor wires in the mud. It almost trivializes it, but Nick just showed us this training is mission specific, and we are watching it play out overseas right now.
Well, I agree. It's wonderful that we can do these things, but like you said, the whole movie thing, you can't take all that, you got to take all that with a grain of salt. We've
Yeah.
got specialized people that do specialized missions to bring this thing all together. And there's also the, diplomatic corps and the information corps. There's different people doing different things. So it all comes together to bring success to the American people.
How does military training update over the years to keep up with new technology, new threats? You know, we've watched cheap drone warfare completely change the name of the game the last several years.
I'm glad you asked that question. I helped stand up Cybercom, and I can tell you for a fact that the military, the government is constantly being infused with new technology. The whole time I was in the military and the government, I was constantly having to learn new things. And again, my background is satellites, and I also got a chance to do information operations. I got a chance to deploy with some of the Marines and the infantry guys. So I got a chance to see it all. But yeah, new technology is always coming in. You're always training. There's always something new. It keeps you on your toes constantly.
Constantly. I can imagine. You know, the military has some of the best now deployed in the Middle East, and it's really signaling that this operation could soon escalate or at least drag on. But President Trump Monday says Iran would like to work out a deal. What's more likely in your eyes right now, working out some sort of a deal or the fighting restarting?
I would hope and pray that we work out a deal. The president is resolute in his convictions. He's not going to back down. And I think that the idea of him literally threatening to block the Strait of Hormuz himself with our United States Navy kind of threw the Iranians for a loop. They weren't expecting that. That's not all their territorial waters. That should be international water. And so the idea that the president is saying, okay, we're going to block the place so you can't make any money with your oil. So that puts them in a totally different situation. And the president seems to be one step ahead of them. So yeah, the language is very bombastic, but that's the way it has to be right now. It'll all work out. I'm just hoping that we don't have to put boots on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vice President J.D. Vance is doubling down after the failed negotiations that took place this weekend and saying that Iran has to turn over its enriched uranium. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's what some people call the dust, which is the enriched uranium that the Iranians currently possess. We have said that we want that to come out of their country, and we would like to take possession of it. The president doesn't want to leave the next president or the president after that to be worrying about this program.
And Colonel, as you know, Iran is not agreeing to that right now. What does this red line on Iran's nuclear program mean for the timetable of the operation, just given Iran's continued resistance?
We won't be able to settle this thing until they give in on this nuclear deterrence thing. Bottom line is that's what the president is really, truly after. Those are our real goals. We have to stop them from developing a nuclear weapon. Otherwise, the entire world is at stake because these people don't believe like we do. They have a different philosophy and a different expected outcome. So we have to sometimes force our will upon people and for the good of everyone. And that's what the president is doing. He's trying to make sure that we don't end up in a nuclear war anytime soon.
Yeah, and we'll see how the talks today go between Israel and Lebanon in Washington, D.C. Lieutenant Colonel Bernie Flowers, always a pleasure and a privilege to have you on, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mark.